All right, guys, so I'd like to welcome everyone to our annual Frank E.Lucente Resident Research and Alumni Day, which I believe now is going on our 20th year, which began, we're going to give a little history lesson, which began originally just as the Research Day, and then was named for Dr. Lucente in about 2008 or so, and then we added the alumni component kind of shortly after that. And then at that point, I was named the long-serving alumni director, and I've kind of been doing these MC duties for about the last 15 years or so. So each year I get tasked with saying something kind of interesting and witty, and fail to do so every year, so I won't do so again this year. But what I will, I think, give a little bit is my 2 cents about sort of what this day, I think, means for our program and for our department. Firstly, it's sort of the unofficial start of our kind of yearly wrap-up activities for the academic year, which of course culminates in our chief resident graduation, the residents moving up a year in responsibility, and then welcoming, of course, our new group of interns and residents, and then starting the crash course, the welcome session, the summer school activities, et cetera. So this is kind of the kickoff to all of that. Each year, it also gives us a chance, of course, most importantly, to showcase the diligent work of our residents throughout the year, and to meld that with, of course, 2 wonderful speakers, our keynote speaker, Dr. Kathleen Yarumchuk, and Dr. Coley, our alumni speaker, who sort of function as, I think, role models for what successful career paths will be in the very near future for our residents. It also makes me a little bit nostalgic. I tend to get that way anyway, but more so at this time of the year, with the inevitable progression of our trainees, right, from frightened interns to competent residents, to our chief team leaders, and to successful professionals in our specialty. And at least all of us that have been around, I think, for a little while, we kind of recognize that that's really the fundamental principles on which Dr. Lucente had founded this program some 35 years ago, and then carried on by the work of Dr. Rosenfeld and now Dr. Butts, who guide us into the future. It's hard to kind of keep that focus sometimes in our daily lives, but I think this day sort of helps us really to clarify that and to spend a day together. That's why it was so hard to get everybody in there from outside, because everybody's chatty and having fun, and the food, but mostly the having fun. So welcome to everybody. We're also this year very proud to introduce the first Naira Goldstein Resident Research Award, named aptly, of course, for Dr. Goldstein, who's going to be retiring, as I'd say, much too young, but will be retiring. And we're not that creative with the name. It's actually called the Naira Goldstein Resident Research Award. And a little bit, of course, about Naira. Naira, of course, we all know as a national and international leader in pediatric otolaryngology, and has done tremendous work in obstructive sleep apnea. But in our program, I think we all kind of know Dr. Goldstein as sort of the program mom a little bit. And just a little bit of a quick story. Dr. Goldstein's first day at Kings County, very, very first day operating, she had a newbie intern also on their very first day at Kings County. That was this guy. And we had a little bit of challenge as most people's first day at Kings County, right? We had some cases. I had to cover something called the wax clinic, where we have 25 screaming children to clean their wax out because they failed their audios. Didn't really know how to clean wax out. Didn't really know how to read an audio, to be totally honest. But had the help of the audiologist, had the help of the team. We somehow got through it. But I did show up a little late to grand rounds that first day, where Dr. Lucente kind of stopped grand rounds and pointed out the importance of being prompt and on time to these activities. So I stepped outside and almost thought I was going to get fired and almost thought my career was over. And who comes out? Dr. Goldstein, with an arm on my shoulder saying, "You did a great job today. Don't pay attention to any of that." And so here we are, Dr. Goldstein, myself, and Dr. Lucente, 27 years later, welcoming you all to the Frank E.Lucente Resident Research and Alumni Day. So welcome all, and I'll let Dr. Lucente say a few quick words.
Thank you very much, Boris. I'd like to say a special welcome to Dr. Coley, who comes to us from Yale, where I got my start in medical training 65 years ago. Also welcome to Dr. Yomchek and thanking her for their leadership of the Academy in a spectacular fashion. My second favorite thing when I got to SUNY was recruiting faculty. And I am so happy to see a lot of the faculty here, and also to look at their careers and stay in touch with them as they move around the world and have become leaders. I'm sorry we're losing some faculty, but I'm sure we will learn from the experience of having them. But my favorite thing when getting to SUNY October 3rd, 1990, was recruiting residents, because as most people know, particularly my patients, I'm not much of a surgeon. I was more or less an organizer, a recruiter. When I was there, I was virtually the only person in the department who did not have a fellowship training that I could hang on my wall. I figured I never really needed fellowship training because I knew everything, but that's actually not the case. I'm very grateful to see what our residents have done, and honoring you is very important. I asked Dr. Butts what I should talk about for a few minutes, and she said the importance of research. Let me say research is important. No, seriously, what is research? It's not cutting the tails off rats or drilling holes in the hopeless skulls, but it's a matter of shaping your mind to develop critical thinking. The lesson of the lab or the literature review is to transfer that practice from the lab to the clinical practice, to ask questions, gather data, make hypotheses, test hypotheses, come to conclusions, implement those conclusions, and share the results in a communication. We learn from collating our clinical experiences and communicating with colleagues, constantly improving our collective knowledge about nature's most magnificent creation, the human body. This is the meaning and value of research to me. I congratulate the residents who are presenting today. I thank their mentors, and I am hoping that all residents will become involved in clinical research, since it will make you a better physician. Let's make Dr. Goldstein proud. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dr. Lucente. So a few words from our chairman, Dr. Butts.